Okay, this video is about microclimates, and by the end of it I want you to be able to explain what microclimates are. So I'm looking you to explain how they happen and what impact they have on climate. Well, they're quite simple. In this picture you can see what I mean by a microclimate. Basically, a microclimate is an area within a specific place that has different climate to the surrounding areas. Now, this is more like a localized climate than really a microclimate. You might want to say that better to understand. So if you look at this picture, we've got this big rock, and then underneath we've got this small building. At certain parts of the day, because of the shadow created by the rock, it will be slightly cooler than the surrounding areas because of the direct sunlight. So that's one way in which we can have microclimates. We have microclimates around the school. You certainly know which classrooms are colder and warmer than others. And I'm not talking just about the air conditioning, I'm talking about what direction houses face. So if we face the sun, we are more likely to be warmer. So anything south facing is likely to get morning sun, and if you're north facing you're likely to get afternoon sun. These are all key things, especially when you're buying houses. Your house at home will obviously have different parts of the house that are colder and warmer than others, and that's because the position of the house towards the sun, and then if you have anything blocking off the sun to create a shadow. These microclimates can be very distinctive, and as an impact we can have what's called urban heat islands. Now this pictures of the Gold Coast, and I'll come back to it in a minute, but in heavily urban areas where we have lots of impermeable surfaces, so we're talking about surface that's been tarmacked or concreted, water can't actually get through that. It's called impermeable. So what happens? Water runs off. So if we see a storm, particularly in cities, particularly in Sydney, where does water go? It goes to the storm drains and disappears. As a result, the surface becomes hot. Now what happens in urban areas, the heat is kept and stored in those areas because the impermeable rock surfaces don't cool as quickly as natural ground areas, say in rural areas. So as a result we have hotter temperatures. That's what an urban heat island is. If you look at this photo of the Gold Coast, you'll see what I mean by microclimates, and also probably a little bit of what an urban heat island is. So the area I'm talking about, I'm just circling it now for you. I might use a different colour so you can see it. We're talking about this area because the height of the buildings. So this area that I've circled will be certainly hotter than, say, the surrounding areas, and that's because of the type of surface. Now when we're talking about microclimates, it's these shadows I want you to pay attention to. These shadows create microclimates because if I'm sitting here on the beach in this shadow, the temperature is going to be cooler. So you might think, well, that's probably a good thing, being on the beach, heat and so on, but it actually puts people off visiting the beach. Now obviously, as you know, Gold Coast is an ideal holiday destination for a lot of people. This puts people off going to the Gold Coast. So when you're talking about land planning and why it's important, these things need to be thought of to ensure the the area isn't people aren't put off from going to the area. Okay, so that's what an urban heat island is. That's what microclimate is. We'll be looking at now how humans impact the climate. All right, thanks.